Hello, this is PG, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Space Hulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition on Steam. It's also available on consoles. Space Hulk Deathwing is a first-person shooter developed by Strumon Studio with assistance from Cyanide. The game is based on the Space Hulk board game, which is set within the Warhammer 40k universe. Players assume the role of the Dark Angel's first company of Space Marines. Okay, gameplay. Well, the action starts with your company of Marines breaching into the Space Hulk in order to establish a foothold. Your Space Marines can use firearms and melee weapons with one in each hand. You also have special powers that can stun large groups. You can give orders to your brothers in arms like follow, defend, or use certain objects. Portals can be used if you want to replenish your health or adjust your loadout mid-mission, but these are finite. You only have a few to use, so use them wisely. But you'll quickly realise in this game that your Marines are in for a pretty tough journey, as swarms of enemies come from all angles, which lead to some tense, enjoyable and very entertaining action. General play sees you enter a large level, explore the environment for points of interest and fight off waves of hostiles. You can also destroy walls on occasions or even lock doors behind you if you need to protect your squad from being overrun. In terms of level design, Deathwing features pretty chunky missions with multiple phases and complex maze-like structures. You often feel completely lost in the kind of dark, dingy environments. You know, your health is slowly depleting, the enemies keep on coming, and it's that sense of dread that really hangs over almost every moment of the game. Personally, I loved it, but I could see how, if you're a casual gamer, you might find that sort of oppression feel a little bit overwhelming. One aspect of the game that really stood out for me is the dark and foreboding atmosphere. As you explore the narrow corridors of the Space Hulk, you feel that palpable tension. And despite being a powerful Space Marine, you also feel quite vulnerable due to the complex level design, the hostile threats, and how quickly you can become overwhelmed. For me, it strikes a really interesting balance between exploration, teamwork, and combat. Now, you can play it multiplayer. I played this solo, so I can't comment on multiplayer. Solo, it was really interesting. And as I said, you genuinely feel like you're in a tight-knit squad of Space Marines. You've been thrust into some terrible conditions, the odds are terrible against you, but it's really satisfying as you just slowly grind your way through the horrors, level by level. Now, this enhanced edition features new missions, game modes, random objectives and enemies. There's also a new class, an expanded arsenal and a deep customization system. Now, in terms of DLC, you get 3. You get Knights of the Crimson Order. This adds Crimson Knight armor and Mark II Aquila pattern Storm Bolter. You get the Infested Mines DLC. This is a new location based on Warhammer 40k lore that's playable in solo and co-op. And finally, you get Skulls for the Skull Throne. This has a variety of cosmetic items including skins, banners and emblems. In terms of graphics, this enhanced edition seems to have remedied the kind of original release's frame rate issues. In terms of presentation, I'd say the menus in the interface do the job just fine, but it's the in-game graphics that really just add so much atmosphere to proceedings. Sound-wise, it's punchy, it's gritty, and again, all of these things only add to that sense of immersion and also the sense of dread. Good voice acting, good sound effects, good music, very good stuff. Okay, verdict. Space Hulk Deathwing is an atmospheric, gritty and challenging first-person shooter that accurately captures the dark and foreboding atmosphere of Space Hulk, but more importantly, Warhammer 40k. From the overwhelming odds to the powerful weaponry and the maze-like levels, all these factors make for a really satisfying and quite dreadful, challenging affair. For me, it might be my favourite 40k game as it balances off action, strategy and challenge almost perfectly. And again, it's worth noting how strong the atmosphere of the game feels. You really feel like you're there. You feel like you're in this wide array of derelict spacecraft surrounded by hostiles as you fight for your life, but more importantly, for the Emperor. I would strongly recommend it if you're a Warhammer 40k fan, but if you're not and you like a good sci-fi shooter with brilliant atmosphere, absolutely give this one a look. Scoring Space Hulk Deathwing, 9 out of 10. That's the review. Thanks for watching. This is PG signing off. Cheers.